PLI scheme, Make in India, IT hardware companies, your Dell, Lenovo, HP, they will all now make in India and make in India very, very soon.
So, yeah, Shweta, I think what started off as a mission initiated by the government of India that we want to stop importing $8.8 billion worth of laptops and PCs and tablets and other equipment, hardware, IT hardware as we refer to it, from China and other perhaps non-trusted partners from the world, and hence pushing and really, drawing out initially the fears of some sort of a revert to license Raj by saying that we need to protect our own industry and we need to ensure that there are enough players coming to India and making in India. It started with fears of that, but I think soon thereafter we saw, in fact last month, that the government had actually not put any sort of barrier in Indian companies, Indian retailers as well as Indian distributors procuring IT hardware from other parts of the world. But all this happened after the deadline had expired of IT companies putting in that application to avail of the 17,000 crore rupee PLI scheme to Make in India. And out of the 39 or 40 applications that were submitted, about 27 have finally been given the nod to Make in India. And this includes, of course, the likes of HP, the likes of Dell, the likes of even a Chinese company called Lenovo. And of course, you have Taiwanese company Foxconn and many other Indian players, all of them together investing as much as 3,000 crore rupees. Now, the statement that came on Saturday from Minister for IT Ashwini Vaishnav suggesting that 23 out of these 27 are actually ready to start production on day zero immediately. And the balance are going to be in a position to start production between 4 to 6 months. So we know for sure that by the time this financial year comes to a close, we will have about 27 companies making laptops, tablets, PCs, all-in-one PCs, etc. here in India.
You know, it's very interesting how this story unfolded. This story unfolded with government trying to push IT hardware companies to Make in India. There were not many applicants at the start of this year.
In fact, all applications came pretty
just
much
came in on
just
the deadline of
time,
it.
on the deadline.
So, not many applicants, not many takers for PLI and IT hardware. The government wanted to make in India, so it put in place a restriction on import of items. Some saw it as restriction, some saw it as some sort of license, others saw it as a window. But the government was trying to communicate with the IT players in a way that, look, if you are importing, we want you to restrict it. We want you to tell us where you're importing from. It's a confidence building sort of exercise. We want to know which are the players that are importing to India.
Yeah,
well, that window was extended, and beyond a certain point, we realized it has been done away with. There will not be a license, Raj. There will not be a single window clearance, as government was referring it to. But meanwhile, the applicants had already come in.
Yeah, so I think the government never as much as said that it is going to restrict import of
IT
hardware. That is what the perception was.
Absolutely.
I think what the perception was really clear was that we want to definitely contain imports coming in from China. And we don't want organizations, companies, IT hardware giants to be manufacturing in China, which is where they have their assembly lines and their value chains all set, and then come and sell in India. So I think the government was very clear that tell us who you're importing from, where you're importing from, how much you're importing, and we are going to give you the go ahead. It was not stated by the government ever that a license would be required or that it is going to be restrictive in nature, but I think it was made out to be because of the lack of clarity and the gaps in communication, where IT companies thought that they may not be granted the license or the permission to import. But after they had applied for manufacturing in India and availing of the fairly lucrative PLI scheme, the sort of approval to import for the foreseeable future came through. So I think all imports for this financial year, whatever was applied for, has been granted. And now it gives India that 4-month, 5-month window to start manufacturing within India, and hopefully next financial year onwards have that sort of self-reliance, Atmanirbharta, when it comes to Indians buying laptops and PCs and tablets that are made in India.
Made in India, and by all of these companies, including Lenovo, which is a Chinese company, as you pointed out, HP, all of them will be making in India. So, made in India laptop, palm top, and camera phones, among other things that you will be able to access.
So, camera phones, I think, are outside of this tranche of PLI. They are part of the smartphone manufacturing in any case.
Right.
But you've got laptops, all-in-one PCs and tablets, definitely 17,000 crore rupees outlaid, and the government's the sort of statement also suggests that as many as 50,000 direct jobs and 150,000 indirect jobs are
Absolutely.
likely to be created. So we are looking at employment, formal or informal, to the tune of about 2 lakh by way of this 3,000 crore rupees being invested by the players, 27 players, and the government's own some portion of the 17,000 crore rupee PLI outlay being utilized.
All right, well, that's the story coming in as far as IT hardware is concerned. Many of these companies expected to make in India very, very soon.